Hello and welcome to the show. Now, there's a lot of choice of POV cameras out there. And when we needed to choose a miniature camera solution for our own use, we were looking for robust broadcast spec cameras at a price point that fitted within our budget.
Yeah, the decision process for us was pretty straightforward with the Marshall CV cameras, as you get the broadcast quality at a great price. And not so long ago, we spoke to Tod about the imminent introduction of global shutter versions of their Genlock cameras for when people are using them in high-speed scenarios. So welcome back to the show. Once again, Tod Musgrave, still enjoying the sunshine in California there, I see.
We are. It's a little cloudy today, but I'll take that for sure.
So Tod, it's fair to say that the price point of global shutter sensors has come down to a point where Marshall is now able to develop them into your POV camera lineup. Can you give us some background again on why the global shutter was so appropriate for your cameras?
So more or less from the beginning, we've been using rolling shutters and as you said, to meet a price point in the market for POV cameras. Our thing has always been affordability, ease of use, and small compact size. Global shutter CMOS has come down in price quite a bit. And since the beginning, there's always those scenarios where you have speed, whether it be a propeller in the shot of a plane or riding in a car or a car going by at high speeds. You get that motion blur, I think is what he's referring to. And it's because of how the sensor is scanning. It's rolling instead of an entire capture in the sensor technology. So recently, the prices have come down quite a bit. We've tested the sensor in our platform, and it really does well. And again, to meet those situations where high speed is a factor. Now, CMOS rolling shutter is very good at and we've been able to develop it into handling speed quite nicely. But sometimes you just need that global shutter because you have that ultra fast motion within your shot.
Yeah, no, it's fair to say that if you're going to be working in ultra-fast motion, if you're working in those probably challenging situations, ease of use is a big deal. Give us a bit more on the ease of use features on what is effectively just a little black box.
Right. So, when you think about the original and even current GoPros, you don't have the ability of interchangeable lenses. So that's the first thing we did when we developed this platform. Interchangeable lenses where we have a variety of different prime lenses at different focal lengths, so you can capture the angle of view that you want. We also have an RCP unit that can control these cameras remotely from the truck or the control room using common VISCA commands. And we use those commands because we also test compatibility with companies like ZionView, BR Remote, and other people that have control decks or control RCPs that it's universal. So to being able to use your current control platforms is what we strive in ease of use. You also can remotely change white balance. You can remotely paint the cameras. And one key feature in this particular model will also be Genlock. So you can sync the signals with Genlock, tri-level sync with all the cameras at the camera level. So clearly ease of use and being able to put it into a workflow rather seamlessly is what I focus on and I spend all my time doing. We want to take the headache out of using our cameras, and I'm constantly working on being able to improve our ease of use.
So one of the many reasons we love talking to you, Tod, is you're normally surrounded by cool cameras. Can you give us a show of what the model is that we're actually talking about today?
Right. So the CV568 is our M12 mount, small footprint. I can show you here. I got cameras all over my office, but this one is the 568. So you can see the size is incredibly small. It had 1/4" 20 on the bottom. You can flip it in digital flip. But these are easily mountable. They're very flexible. And this is the CV568. A little bit larger model is our CV368, which incorporates a CS mount lens setup, but all the same features and same sensor. A little bit larger, and I always recommend the larger platform 368 when you have longer shots, right? You need to use a larger more telephoto lens, and you're trying to capture something at greater distance. I always recommend the larger platform, and we're not talking about larger by any stretch of broadcast measure, but it allows you that larger lens mount to get longer shots, essentially.
It's just that little bit bigger to fit it all in. So, where are you getting the technology from? Which sensor are you using?
So on this one, we're using a Sony Exmor sensor, and it's a 1/1.8 inch sensor, 20% larger sensor size than our other POV cameras. So not only larger sensor, but larger pixel size. That with global shutter is gonna get and capture even in low light situations where you have challenging light, you're outdoors in lower light situations, maybe in the evenings, but you're able to capture much lower light sensitivity and translate colors very well in challenging light environments.
So one of the things we like about the Marshall cameras is they are robust and solid. What sort of testing regime have you been putting this new camera through? Because as Matt said earlier on, it's probably going to be used in quite extreme environments sometimes.
So it's the same durable body, like I said, is our 503 and 506. But really the engineers we work with, tested in their rugged environment. It's done from one block of aluminum alloy, so it's very, very durable. And to be honest, are used as crash cams. Probably more than I'd like, or maybe that I do like, and then they buy more cameras when they wreck them. But they're very durable. And to be honest, we also sell into the aerospace industry. So when they test my cameras outside the atmosphere, I always say, thank you. We haven't done that test yet.
So you said there's an ability there for perhaps performing a little bit better than older cameras in low light. I hope I'm not asking a question you're going to say no to, but are there any maybe in the future, any chance of getting higher frame rates out of it?
Out of that Sony sensor, absolutely. So when we start developing a camera, we select a sensor that makes the most sense for that application. And in this one, we chose the Sony, but the Sony are very capable in the Exmor range that would we can increase that frame rate. We do have a current model CV568 that's up to 120 frames per second. But we want to go higher, and I think we can develop around this Sony sensor and processing chips that can handle it.
And just before we leave the global shutter cameras, Tod, what's the price and availability?
So it's releasing in June. We're in final QC approval on the final samples. We're thinking certainly by June 15th, you'll see it in the marketplace. And price point will be under $1,200 US, so $1,200 US. And we think for a global shutter, CMOS is relatively affordable.
Marshall has become also a global leader, really, in PTZs. You've been doing quite well with them recently.
We have
a bit of background on the new PTZs. Yeah.
So we're actually developing. We have an assortment of cameras already at the market. We have 30. We're building around 30x optical zoom. We have IP. We have NDI. We have all sorts of different configurations. But we're also working on a high bandwidth NDI version that'll be our CV730. So we're talking about high bandwidth NDI, 12G SDI output, HDMI. I mean, it's really going to be everything an all-in-one, and maybe our flagship model. But yeah, we continue to do. PTZ is continuing to grow. Robo cameras are used, especially during COVID, as you guys know, but is used for REMI production. It's used for remote control and ingesting into a workflow. So we're pushing that side of our business quite intensely as well. And IP has grown so much, and NDI. High vision SRT for secure, reliable transport. So we believe in IP as well, and we certainly believe in our PTZ range. But really, where we cut our teeth was in the POV range, and I want to make sure we're still releasing very capable and cutting edge cameras in that line as well.
Thanks for coming in today, Tod. Really appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll be catching up soon. And you can find out more about what Tod was talking about at marshall-usa.com. Also, we'll hope to see the Marshall cameras at our show in July, which leads to this. Make sure you have a look at kitplusshow.co.uk for information on the fast approaching face-to-face event at Media City this summer. Registration will be open soon. Many thanks to our supporters of KitPlus TV, who are Mediaproxy, and you can find out about them at mediaproxy.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.